It is a Wednesday, which means Brian Baldinger joins the show right off the top. Baldy, I have a feeling that you enjoyed some of that football in that Bears game. It was some old school, pound the ball, relentless, just run them over, make them, just give them a drive all the way back to O'Hare and on a charter plane back to Las Vegas.
It was a good game. It was a good game by the Bears. Best game they've played now in a while. In all phases. I mean, they controlled the line of scrimmage. Obviously, Dante Foreman gave him pop in the run game, real power. You can't say enough about Shepherd College, Tyson Bagent and how he played, how he took care of the ball, some of the skill set they had. And then defensively, look, I know the quarterback play for the Raiders was awful, but, they've got some elite skilled players out there. And, you look at Devontae and Josh Jacobs and some of the guys they have to defend them that well and not give up one explosive play the whole day. Like, that was an impressive all-around performance.
So, Baldy, I watched your video breakdown, and now listening to you right now, it seems to me you think the Bears might have something in this Tyson Bagent guy.
Well, look, he played well. He took care of the football. He did what he was supposed to do. He made a couple throws that – you just watch and you go, okay, this is the NFL. This isn't, going up against Millersville College. This is the Raiders, regardless of what anybody thinks about the Raiders. It's, he got the ball out on time. He has a better arm than I thought when we talked last week, Mark. It was impressive. He wasn't fooled. He got away from Max Crosby a couple times. You saw some good first step quickness to him, going to his left, making some throws. We saw a pretty good skill set. Now, there's been a ton of guys that have come in with no names that have played, good for a game, 2 games, and then I'm not saying I don't know what's going to happen, but it was a good debut where you feel good about it. You got the win. He helped you win the game. He converted a bunch of third down throws. All the things that you hope a young kid could do, to kind of like grow him in the culture. And so it was impressive. And he looked like he was calm feet, calm mind, looked like he was in charge. And that look, for anybody coming from that level of school to the NFL midseason and to play like that, congratulations, honestly.
Baldy, you warned us last week about Max Crosby. Not that people need warning, but you know him. We knew going in this game he was going to be a focal point of the Bears' game plan. At least you'd hope that. What did you think about the way the Bears at times attacked him, at times went away from him? Whatever it was, it seemed like they had the answers for a tough situation.
They did a good job. They really did. It was a good game plan. He can ruin your Sundays. It was probably his least effective game like that from that standpoint all year. Cole Kmet was over there in pass protection, chipping him. The rookie, they all kind of battled him over there, and they made sure that he wasn't left one-on-one a whole bunch. And even in the run game, he defeats run blocks like nobody else. But, they ran for 175 yards. Max Crosby didn't affect their run game the way he has some other teams. They did a good job. It was a good job of game planning for a player of that caliber.
So 175 against the Raiders, 171 against the Broncos, 178 against the Commanders, 162 against the Vikings, all on the ground. Can you win this way in the NFL today? What do you think?
Well, how many games did they win last year? They led the league in rushing last year. You look. They had a 10-minute advantage time of possession for whatever that's worth. It's not worth a lot when you're playing Miami or Kansas City. They can score in 3 plays. So, but in a game like this where the Raiders' offense and their quarterback play was atrocious, it's a good way to win a game. It's a good way to get something started. It's a good way to walk out a undrafted free agent quarterback making his first start. There's things about the run game that can be really good. It gives the offensive line that's still trying to gel with Tevin on that side and Borum at left tackle and the rookie at right. It's good for the offensive line to get some time together where they can experience success and kind of build and grow. So, but if you're saying, okay, let's go to January with, I'm not saying this year, but let's go in the future. Let's go to January with the leading rushing team in the league. Tennessee's done that. It doesn't matter. Like, you've got to be able to throw the football to win in January.
How about the defense, though? Like, it's the big difference, and you bring up a completely fair point. Led the league in rushing last year, won 3 games. But they also had a defense that couldn't stop anybody for most of the season, especially in the second half. And all of a sudden, Baldy, these last 3 weeks, it's not just that they're playing better, but it seems like every week they're getting better. And it seems like there's been a difference here since Eberflus took over the defense.
They're playing. I mean, they're playing. They're attacking the line of scrimmage right now. They're playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. They're getting off. I mean, just the basics. Like they're blitzing more. They're pressuring the quarterback more. But they're also tackling better right now. And look, that's Josh Jacobs. I mean, I know he's not having a great season, but he did lead the league in rushing last year. He didn't have an explosive run last week. They took care of their league. The league's leading rusher a year ago. I mean, like that's good. And like just the way that they play their zones right now, I mean, it's just much tighter. They're plastering receivers. They're hunting them up. They're just playing faster, like as a group. And so, I mean, even like the interception by Tremaine Edmonds in the middle of the field. I mean, he's in a perfect spot. Yes, it glanced off Jacobs' hand, but he's there to scoop it. To take it. The play by Jalen Johnson, against Devontae, I mean, the pass was like, full of helium. I mean, maybe we all could have picked it, but still, Jalen made a great break on the ball. That is Devontae, who's a great route runner, and he stopped on a dime, came back, and made the play. It looks like a quality defense at this point.
So, Baldy, let's go back to this Bagent character, and I don't
know if you can tell, but this guy loves Tyson.
No. Sell him. Come on, please. Tell me what you love.
What I love is that the ball comes out. What I love is that he seems to see the field. What I love is that he's played the position a ton. What I love is that he's got a little moxie. And what I'm using is sort of behind, like, building up like how it would be possible for somebody like this is that the NFL misses on quarterbacks all the time. All the time. So nobody knows what this guy is going to be. I'm asking you, what would you need to see if you were Matt Eberflus or Luke Getsy, where you would actually, in your mind, have, well, now we actually have a quarterback controversy here?
Well, you have to give him some time, and you have to let him, even struggle if he does struggle. Like, look, Brock Purdy went 10 straight games without throwing an interception. Now he's thrown 3 in the last 2 weeks. And you could say, okay, if let's just say Brock Purdy is what maybe Tyson Bagent can be. Let's just say, who knows? But you have to let him play to find that out. You can't give him a hook. The only way that anybody found out Kurt Warner could do what he did and become the greatest story in NFL history for the most part, going from bagging groceries in Des Moines to wearing a gold jacket, is he got a chance to play. And, so that's the only way. Like, there's no way, like, if you're Bill Wennington in Chicago, you can improve your game, your free throws, your low post game. You can help out Michael Jordan in some way if you're Bill Wennington in the offseason by not playing. But you can't improve as a quarterback without playing. So I'm just throwing, my favorite bull of all time out there. So
I love the reference because bowl season starts tonight. Let's go.
I can't believe Wennington just got mentioned by Baldy.
But so like there's just no substitute for game day playing. And how a person sees the field. He obviously saw the field very well. Throwing balls in the middle of the field. Some quarterbacks are afraid to do that. Throw balls out on timing for first downs. I mean, we saw a good deal. We saw him get away from Max Crosby, go to the left, make a throw. There was a nice little sample, 2 weeks in a row of a guy that looks like, he's got a chance. But you have to, can he stay healthy? Can he do it? Can he improve? Can he do it week in, week out? Can he do it against the league's best? Can he do it against the disguises that are coming? Like, I'm not going to say he can or can't, but the only way we're going to find that out is if he's out there on the field.
All the 90s Bulls, Bill Wennington's number one?
Remember, in MJ's return to the Garden, MJ and Bill Wennington combined for 57 total points.
There we go. Yeah, pull that good nugget. Good nugget right there. I have a I'm friends with Billy. So we do.
We love Bill Wennington too. He's going to see this for sure.
He's been here multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good. You tell him that Baldy said, look, make sure he keeps doing his homework.
Like, Did you grow up a St. John's fan, or
Of course, I grew up in Long Island. I'm a St. John's fan, but I mean, I was playing with the Cowboys when he was drafted by the Mavericks.
Okay.
So we got to know each other then through mutual friends, and then so I'll tell you a quick story. I was coaching a clinic in Italy, and we just happened to be in the same town that Bill played basketball in Italy one year. And so I was like, well, what do you do in this town? What goes on at night? Saturday, we're coaching this clinic. He goes, oh, well, Bennington is playing this town, an Italian basketball championship. I go, well, who's the American on the team? Oh, Bill Wennington is. Oh, I go, well, so I found him and got me tickets to the game. So anyways, he won the game. They won the championship. We celebrated all night. He goes, look, if I ever get back to the NBA and have a chance to win an NBA championship, you got to come. So it's Game 6, 1996. Chicago's going to close out the United Center. I got a call on Sunday morning. Baldy, are you here? It's Bill. I'm like, hell no. I just got done playing tennis with Sal Palantonio. He goes, well, I got a ticket for it if you want to come. So I didn't even change my outfit. I just went straight to the airport. I gave $100 to a guy to park the car. I got on a plane, flew to Chicago, got there at halftime. And so I'm sitting next to his wife. They win the championship. His wife Ann says, look, I can't go to the locker room, but you can. I got a pass. So I go in the locker room, and Bill gives me a camera and a Budweiser, and I just started filming. I filmed Scottie Pippen and Michael celebrating with David Falk. I interviewed Michael Jordan's kids. We were the last ones out of the stadium that day.
All right, 3 things. Number 1, I really need to see that video, and I would pay you for it.
Everyone does. Wennington has a ton of footage that he's got.
Ask me about the footage. See if I've never seen it. Okay, I know we never.
Okay, so you did it on Bill's camera. Okay, but bearing the lead here, and I think we did talk about this once before. Baldy's a tennis guy, which I love tennis.
Back in the day,
Okay.
Not so much anymore.
Okay,
yeah.
That's an incredible story. I love that.
That's
wow.
Okay.
What
and
hey,
we were talking about Tyson, so
no. That was a great.
No, but
segue.
I think that's a good lesson in life to people. If you have sports moments like that you can take advantage. I mean, and that's obviously next level to have Bill Wennington invite you to the game. But I had once had an opportunity. You want to come down to Purdue to watch Wisconsin-Purdue? Kyle Lorton's the quarterback, Heisman Trophy, all this stuff. I said, I don't want to make the drive down from Madison. I didn't do that. And the Badgers walked them off with a fumble recovery in the last minute. It's like the greatest game. I missed it. I didn't go. I should have gone.
Right. Morning show producer, 1998. I'm starting my day out in the career. It was a rainy day. Should I go down to Wrigley? Should I not go down to Wrigley? It's the middle of May. I'm not going to go. Kerry Wood, 20 strikeouts.
Oh, man. There you go.
I also could have gone to that and didn't.
All right. Baldy, can you give us a little scouting report on the Chargers this week? Because I got to be honest with you, I don't care too much about point spreads, but I am shocked that they're 8.5-point favorites in this game. And I know the Bears they're far from flawless, but the Chargers they've been struggling too.
Oh yeah, I mean defensively they're a mess. I mean they have no idea how to play zone defense. I mean from the first game of the season, Tyreek Hill, he literally caught every big pass all day, and they literally didn't pay any attention to Tyreek Hill. He caught the game winner against them. It's just frustrating to watch it, to be honest with you. You got some pass rushers. They can affect your quarterback. I mean, but Bosa's not playing great. Tuli Pelotu, the rookie, is a pretty good player. Khalil Mack had 6 of his 7 sacks in one game. They just can't put it all together. And then, look, they've lost 3 games. The ball's been in the quarterback's hands at the end in all 3 games, and he hasn't been able to take them down the field to win a game. Ultimately, that's how you sort of measure some of these guys. You measure them in January, and the ball in their hands at the end of the game to go win the game. And, he's had the ball 3 times at the end of the game to win it. He's gotten 1 first down. So, it's a little, I mean, you watch him throw the ball, and you're like, this guy's all world. And you look at him, and you think there's no flaw, except that you're just not winning a lot of games the way people think that they should right now.
If you're the Bears, I'm assuming you're just trying to win the football game because you need wins and all of that, but are you pushing the envelope with what you just said as far as trying to send the ball down the field to win the game, or do you think you stick with what you did?
What DJ Moore can do against that secondary. Yeah. And Darnell Mooney. I'd love to see some speedo route combinations and taking some shots. I'm pretty sure that you can run the ball against them. They're just not very sound defensively, and they're not a good tackling team. So, I mean, the way they pounded the ball against the Raiders last Sunday, I would take that approach and and pay the running game off if they're having success with some play action, and let whoever's at quarterback take the shots.
Little intel we'll share with you, Baldy, and anybody who may have missed our show. Yesterday, Cole Kmet was in here in studio with us, the Bears tight end, and he basically said they had more in that game plan Sunday against the Raiders, and they just didn't need to get to it. He thought, he thought he was going to have a big day in the air catching footballs, and they just didn't really. They said by the second drive of the game, they realized that the Raiders really didn't want to be there, didn't have the energy, and they just ground and pound. So to me, that was an indication like, all right, this week against the Chargers, don't be surprised if they air it out a little bit more with this young quarterback.
I don't know. I mean, they ran it 38 times, I think, last week. That's a nice number, especially with a young quarterback. But I'm not impressed, honestly. In that division, Kansas City has a shutdown defense. You saw that. Like, they're legit. But Denver, they're getting better. But, the Chargers, the Raiders, like, they're not good defensively. They're not good fundamentally. They're not good from a personnel standpoint. They've got real flaws in what they do.
What are you seeing up front, Baldy? Do you see an emerging Darnell Wright? Because there's something. Crosby got him a couple times last week, but that's Max
He was
Crosby.
also playing with one arm.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What happened? 'Cause I saw him literally one time take Max Crosby with one arm and just throw him, like literally throw him. I'm like, okay, great, but why is he doing it with one arm?
Yeah, he hurt his shoulder. Yeah, he hurt his shoulder, I think, against the Vikings late in that game. He was sort of limited in practice. I didn't appreciate it until I went back and saw like that end zone angle on the coach's film, Baldy. Yeah. But like he was serious, especially in the second half. You could tell like that left arm was basically just dangling. It's his left shoulder, and it was pretty impressive. He was still able to play through that.
Well, he's got good feet, but honestly, for a right tackle, the left hand and the left arm is way more important than the right arm. And so if you had to like choose, like the last thing, that's your post hand, so that Max can't go inside on you. But I saw him like throw Max with his right arm, and I didn't know like if he's got the thing tied down, where he can't really move it. Like it's hard for me to know without talking to him. But I thought he did the best he could, considering the limitations and the fact that he played through it tells you something about the kid.
Yeah, 100%. We got a couple of things for you here, Baldy. I wanted to. Do we have that tweet, Lawrence?
Yeah, we've got
whatever you want to go to here.
Well,
guys.
First, I think we should just wrap up this Weddington conversation.
Okay.
Because here is the 96 celebration at Grant Park, and that's the camcorder right there.
That's it.
Oh, that's his camcorder. Okay.
Yeah.
We got locked in the United Center. By the time we left, the doors were all locked. We had to go find a custodian to open up the doors just to get us out.
What was the coolest thing you saw in the locker room?
The coolest thing was honestly when everybody was, celebrating drinks, the whole thing, right? Champagne, beers. I walked into the training room, and David Falk, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan all were huddled up, just those three, lighting up a cigar. And I jumped up on top of a bench, and I shot down on that look going, Michael, Scottie, David, they don't get this championship without these three. That's a victory cigar. That's the best lit cigar I've seen. I mean, I just, doing a breakdown of that, just looking right down on it.
We had a Baldy breakdown of the cigar.
Yeah, Baldy Scorsese.
That's awesome.
Was this the first Baldy breakdown ever? Is this where it all started?
I'm sure I've been doing it without really knowing what it was. But, I mean, Bill gave me a camera and said, just film everything. I'm like, okay. Michael Jordan had his kid there, and he had his Michael shoes around him. I just interviewed the shoes. Like, it's all about the shoes. I interviewed Nike himself. Like, I was just I had a Budweiser in one hand and a Sony camera on the other, and I was just having a ball.
What a night.
So good.
By the way, if you're not already following Baldy on Twitter, you should be at Baldy NFL. It's just full. You want to learn football, all of his breakdowns, all the games.
The coolest thing about after that, so when we get out of the United Center, I tell Bill, look, this is like when cell phones were just starting. I go, Bill, you have 2 phone calls you got to make. He goes, who's that? I go, you got to call Bob McKillop. He coached him at Long Island Lutheran High School. And you got to call Lou Carnesecca. You got to thank your coaches for training you and working you to the point where you're at this point winning a championship. So he did. He called Bob McKillop. Then he called Lou Carnesecca. They both took the calls. I sat there in the front seat with them, listened to him shoot the breeze with them. And then we went to the Crowbar with Dennis Rodman and tell the freak
Yes.
show.
Oh, Rodman made it. Rodman made the story. That's great.
That's a good job. That's respect right there.
That's amazing.
Hey, so Sunday night, because I can get kind of weird with uniforms, I was like extra excited for this game on Sunday night because of the old
awesome.
Kelly Green Eagles unis.
There we go. Yeah.
And
The
I
silver
saw
wings, man.
you tweeted this out. I mean, was it nostalgic for you watching this game Sunday night?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's why I stick him in the shot right there. Like we were buddies in the Eagles, best friends still to this day. And those uniforms, I mean, that was Reggie and Clyde and Seth. I mean, it was like they were just rolling out body bags to put quarterbacks in it every Sunday. It was, it was nobody had more fun than we did during those years.
Yeah, those are some good teams. And
Randall Cunningham.
Randall,
Yeah, it was
I mean, he
Fred
was the ultimate
Barnett.
weapon.
My guy
He was
Fred
the ultimate
Barnett, love
weapon.
that guy. Yeah.
That's awesome. Baldy, where are you at this weekend?
I'm in Seattle this weekend, Cleveland and Seattle. So I saw the Browns. I saw Myles Garrett do things that, not many people could ever think about doing, like literally like Superman type stuff, jumping over, the offensive line to go block a field goal. And, to him, it was just another day at the office. To like mere, muggles like me were like, what kind of superpower do you have to do that kind of thing? So, but we'll see him up in Seattle this week. It should be good.
All right. Anything else, Carman?
Well, just one last thought here because I'm getting into dreamland here, Baldy. Sounds to me like you think the Bears have a shot to win this week. I mean, they're an 8.5-point favorite. Nobody's giving them much of a chance, and that look tells me no.
No, it's not that. It's just that, I haven't seen the Chargers play a complete game yet. Like, is it going to happen? I mean, we're 8 weeks into this thing, and I haven't seen them play a complete game. They've got wins, but not where you're saying, okay, they're playing to their talent level. Because I think they've got really good talent level. But, I think that they look incomplete to me, and they never play to their talent level. So I'm like, when you get a team like that, go in there and give them hell, and hell for 60 minutes and see what they do. See what you do.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a good Sunday night game. There's been better Sunday night games.
They
We're excited about the Sunday night
They should have been
games.
flexed out. That's all
Well,
true.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
still L.A. and Chicago, and there's probably going to be 60,000 Bears fans at this game at SoFi.
Oh, no doubt. SoFi is an open invitation for the visitors to come and take over. I've done, NFL Network is based right there. I've been out there for a lot of games, Chargers and Ram games. The visiting team comes in and usually takes it over.
Baldy, appreciate it as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep. See you guys. Take care.
All right.
Talk to you next week.
We all silly like the mayor.